Shadows in Los Angeles. The neon glow of downtown Los Angeles flickered through the cracked windows of the Hotel Cecil, casting jagged shadows across the peeling wallpaper of room 412 on the 4th floor. It was October 27, 2025, a humid night with the air thick from the smog that clung to the city like a second skin, the distant hum of traffic mixing with the occasional wail of a siren, a reminder of the chaos that never slept in this urban sprawl. The hotel, once a grand establishment in the 1920s, had long since fallen into disrepair, its marble floors stained, its chandeliers dim, its reputation stained darker by a century of suicides in the 1930s, murders in the 1960s, the reign of serial killers like Richard Ramirez in the 1980s, and the mysterious death of Elisa Lam in 2013, a case that had turned the Cecil into a macabre tourist attraction, a pilgrimage site for true crime enthusiasts and ghost hunters. By 2005, the hotel had been partially renovated, its lobby polished to lure in curious travelers, but the upper floors remained a labyrinth of decay, the air heavy with the scent of mold, the walls whispering with the echoes of its past, the pipes groaning like the moans of the lost souls who'd never left. Jake Marshall, a 30-year-old documentary filmmaker with a weary frame, a mess of dark curls, and eyes that carried the exhaustion of someone who'd spent too many nights chasing stories, sat on the edge of the sagging bed in room 412, his camera equipment scattered across the floor, his laptop open to a grainy still from the infamous 2013 elevator footage of Elisa Lam. The video had haunted him since he first saw it as a teenager. Elisa, a 21-year-old Canadian student, pressing every button in the elevator, stepping in and out, her movements frantic, her gestures odd, as if she were talking to someone or something invisible, her face a mask of fear and confusion before she vanished, only to be found weeks later in the water tank on the roof, naked, her death ruled an accident despite the impossibilities. The tank's locked lid, the lack of access, the absence of any clear explanation. Jake had spent years researching the case, diving into forums on X, reading coroner's reports, watching interviews with detectives, hotel staff, and Elisa's family, his obsession growing with every unanswered question, his determination to uncover the truth driving him to this moment. To this room, to this hotel, a place where the air seemed to hum with a low electric buzz, a sensation he couldn't shake, a feeling that something was watching, waiting, whispering just beyond the edge of hearing. He'd arrived in Los Angeles 3 days earlier, his beat-up Toyota parked a block away on Main Street, his budget tight, his crew small, just him. His cinematographer, 27-year-old Max Carter, a lanky guy with a shaved head and a penchant for conspiracy theories, his eyes always darting, his voice low and intense, and his sound engineer, 25-year-old Lena Ortiz, a sharp-witted woman with a sleeve of tattoos and a knack for picking up the faintest noises, her headphones always on, her expression always a mix of curiosity and unease. They'd checked into the Cecil under the guise of tourists, their real purpose hidden, their plan to spend a week filming, interviewing, and exploring the hotel's dark history, starting with Elisa's story but digging deeper into the rumors of occult activity, of strange guests in the 2010s, of whispers that the hotel was a nexus for something darker, something that fed on despair, on fear, on the lost souls who passed through its doors. Jake had secured interviews with a former bellhop, 62-year-old Rudy Alvarez, who'd worked at the Cecil in 2013 and claimed to have seen shadows that moved wrong, his voice trembling as he spoke, his hands clutching a rosary, and a local historian, 45-year-old Dr. Evelyn Brooks, who'd written a book on the hotel's history, detailing its connection to a secretive group in the early 2000s, a cult that performed rituals in the basement, their chants echoing through the pipes, their symbols carved into the walls, still visible if you knew where to look. her research meticulous, her warnings clear. Don't stay too long. The Cecil doesn't let go. The first night had been uneventful. The trio setting up their equipment, mapping out the hotel's layout, noting the creak of the floorboards, the flicker of the lights, the way the air seemed to press against their skin, a heaviness that made Lena shiver, her voice low as she muttered, "This place feels wrong," her microphone picking up a faint hum, a sound that shouldn't have been there, a frequency too low for human ears but enough to make their stomachs churn. Jake dismissed it as nerves, as the weight of the place, as the stories they'd been steeped in for weeks, but he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The hairs on the back of his neck standing up, his reflection in the cracked mirror, above the dresser, seeming to linger just a moment too long, his own eyes staring back with a darkness that wasn't his. Max, always the skeptic, laughed it off, his camera rolling as he filmed the room, the hallway, the elevator where Elisa had been last seen alive, his voice steady as he narrated. Day 1 at the Hotel Cecil. Let's see if the ghosts show up. But his laughter died when the elevator doors opened on their own. The panel dark, the buttons unpressed, the air inside cold, the smell of damp metal and something faintly metallic, like blood, wafting out, making Lena step back, her hand on her chest, her voice a whisper. Did you feel that? The second day brought their first interview. Rudy Alvarez meeting them in the lobby, his eyes darting, his hands trembling, his rosary clutched tight, his voice low as he spoke of 2013, of Elisa, of the night she disappeared. I saw her that day, he said, his accent thick, his words slow, deliberate. She was in the lobby, smiling, happy, but there was something off. She kept looking over her shoulder, like she saw something I couldn't. Later, I saw her in the hallway, talking to the air, her hands moving like she was trying to push something away. Then, she was gone. He paused, his eyes filling with tears, his voice breaking. That night, I saw shadows on the 4th floor. Shadows that didn't move like people, too tall, too thin, their edges blurry, like smoke. But they had eyes, glowing eyes, and they were watching me. I quit the next day. I never went back. Jake listened, his camera capturing every word, his mind racing, his questions piling up. Shadows, eyes, Elisa's behavior, the elevator footage, the water tank, the locked lid, the coroner's report. That made no sense. The theories on X about ghosts, about demons, about a cover-up, about something darker, something that lived in the Cecil, something that had claimed Elisa and countless others before her, something that was still here, still watching, still waiting. That night, things escalated. Jake set up motion sensor cameras in the hallway, in the elevator, on the roof, their red lights blinking in the dark, their lenses capturing the emptiness, the silence, the stillness of the hotel at AM, the hour when the city was quietest, the hour when the Cecil seemed to come alive, its walls creaking, its lights flickering, its air growing colder, heavier, the hum louder now, a vibration that rattled their bones, that made Lena's headphones crackle, her voice sharp as she pulled them off. There's something in the static, Jake, voices, whispering, I can't make it out, but they're there. Max checked the footage, his face paling, his voice low. Look at this, he said, pointing to the screen, the hallway camera showing a shadow, tall, thin, its edges blurry, its eyes glowing, just as Rudy had described, the shadow moving, gliding, vanishing around a corner. The motion sensor silent, the camera capturing nothing but darkness. After that, the timestamp frozen at 2:13 a.m., the exact time Elisa was last seen on the elevator footage, a coincidence that sent a chill down Jake's spine, his heart pounding, his mind racing, his voice steady as he said, "We need to go to the roof." The roof was a maze of rusted pipes and graffiti-covered walls, the water tanks looming like sentinels, their metal dented, Their lids rusted shut, the air up here colder, the city skyline a glittering expanse below, the stars invisible behind. The smog, the hum, louder now, a pulsing rhythm that matched Jake's heartbeat, that made Lena clutch her headphones, her voice trembling. It's coming from the tank, Jake, the one where they found her. They approached the tank, its lid still locked, its surface scratched with symbols, circles, triangles, lines that formed a pattern, a sigil. The same sigil Dr. Brooks had described in her book, the mark of the cult, the group that had used the Cecil as their temple, their rituals dark, their purpose unknown, their presence a stain on the hotel's history. Jake touched the tank, his hand trembling, the metal cold, the hum vibrating through his fingers, the whispers louder now, a chorus of voices. They see you, Jake, they see you. The words echoing in his mind, his vision blurring, his reflection in the tank's surface wrong, his eyes darker, his skin pallor, his mouth moving, whispering, they see you. His own voice but not his, a voice that wasn't human, a voice that came from the shadows, from the hotel, from the thing that had taken Elisa, that had taken so many before her. That was now taking him. Max screamed, his camera falling, the lens cracking, his voice raw. There's something in the tank, Jake. I saw it. A face, her face, Elisa's face. But her eyes, they're wrong. They're black. They're glowing. She's in there. She's still in there. Lena backed away, her headphones crackling, the whispers louder. They see you. They want you. They need you. Her hands shaking, her voice breaking. We need to leave, Jake. Now. We need to go. But Jake couldn't move, his body frozen, his mind trapped, the whispers a cacophony, the shadows closing in, tall, thin, their edges blurry, their eyes glowing, their voices a hiss. You're next, Jake, you're next. The tank shaking, the lid rattling, the water inside sloshing, a hand pressing against the metal from within, a hand that wasn't human, a hand that was decayed, skeletal, its fingers long, its nails black, its touch cold, the hum a roar now, the sigil glowing, the air crackling, the shadows reaching, their hands on him, their voices in him. You're next, Jake, you're next. They ran, their footsteps echoing, the elevator doors slamming shut behind them, the buttons unpressed, the car descending, stopping, opening on the basement, a place they hadn't been, a place they hadn't planned to go. The air down here, thick with the scent of rot, the walls covered in more sigils, the floor stained with something dark, something that looked like blood, something that looked fresh, the whispers louder. You're next, Jake. You're next. The shadows following, their forms shifting, growing, their eyes glowing, their hands reaching, their voices a chant. Join us, Jake, join us. Lena screamed, her headphones falling, the static a scream, the voices clear now. Elisa, 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 the name a mantra, a curse, a summons, the shadows forming a circle, their hands linked, their eyes on Jake. Their intent clear, they wanted him, they needed him, they would take him, just as they'd taken her, just as they'd taken so many before her. The Cecil their temple, their hunting ground, their prison for the lost, for the damned, for the curious who dared to look too closely, who dared to ask too many questions, who dared to stay too long. Jake fought, his mind racing, his body trembling, his voice raw as he shouted, we need to find the source. We need to stop this. He remembered Dr. Brooks' book, the chapter on the cult, the rituals, the sigils, the way they'd summon something, something that lived in the hotel, something that fed on fear, on despair, on the souls of the lost, something that had taken Elisa, that was now taking them, its power tied to the sigils, to the basement, to the tank, to the shadows that moved wrong, that whispered wrong, that were wrong. They searched the basement, their flashlights flickering, the shadows closing in, the air colder, the hum louder, the sigils glowing, the walls bleeding. the blood pooling, the whispers a scream. You're next, Jake, you're next. The shadows reaching, their hands on him, their voices in him, his reflection in a cracked mirror on the wall. Wrong, his eyes black, his skin gray, his mouth moving, whispering, you're next. His own voice, but not his, a voice that wasn't human. A voice that came from the shadows, from the hotel, from the thing that lived here, that had always lived here, that would always live here. They found the altar, a slab of stone in the center of the basement, its surface carved with sigils, its edges stained with blood, its center holding a photograph, Elisa's photograph, her face smiling, her eyes bright, but her eyes were scratched out, black ink smeared across them. The ink still wet, the photograph trembling, the whispers coming from it. They see you, Jake, they see you. The shadows circling, their forms shifting, their eyes glowing, their hands reaching, their voices a chant. Join us, Jake, join us. Max grabbed a crowbar, his hands shaking, his voice raw. We need to destroy it, Jake, we need to break it. They smashed the altar, the stone cracking, the sigils fading, the whispers screaming, the shadows lunging, their hands on them, their voices in them, the hum a roar, the air crackling, the hotel shaking, the lights exploding, the pipes bursting, the water flooding, the shadows fading, the whispers dying, the photograph burning, Elisa's face melting, her eyes glowing, her voice a scream. They see you, Jake, they see you. The scream echoing, the hotel silent, the shadows gone, the hum gone, the air still, the darkness absolute. They stumbled out, their bodies trembling, their minds shattered, their footage intact, their story untold. The Cecil behind them, its windows dark, its doors locked, its secrets safe, its shadows waiting, its whispers silent for now. Jake uploaded the footage to X, the video going viral, the comments flooding in. Is this real? What did you see? Are you okay? His inbox filling with messages, his phone ringing, his mind racing, his reflection in every mirror wrong, his eyes darker, his skin pallor, his voice whispering, they see you, Jake, they see you. The Cecil calling, the shadows waiting, the truth buried, the horror eternal, the hotel alive, its hunger unending, its victims countless, its story unfinished.